Okay, so I'm just mixing this up. You want to make sure that the sugar mixture is all over the apples, like so. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use, for this specific recipe, I'm using a 9x13 pan, but in class you would be using one of the larger sheet pans, and essentially it's like you're making the recipe times 4 and then you're filling up the whole sheet pan. We usually do about 2 big sheet pans will be sufficient for Javaccino. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pour this into your pan. Make sure you get all of that up. You do not need to grease your pan, and the reason why is because this is pure butter, and it will prevent the sticking. When we do put it on the big sheet pan, we do put a piece of parchment paper down just for a little bit of easier cleanup. Okay. So what you're going to do now is you're just going to, you want to get the apples into a nice even layer. You can use your hands for this. Please make sure that they're washed. I don't want my hands to get dirty because I'm going to continue with my demo, so I'm just using this. And you want the cinnamon sugar butter mixture all evenly coated, because that's going to prevent your sticking. Okay. There we go. Make sure it's pretty even so there's apples in every piece. Okay, so it should look like that at this point. I'm going to set that off to the side. Alright, now I'm making our mixture that is going to be added on top of the bread. So, the recipe calls for 8 eggs. I've already dumped them in. You're going to use the whole egg yolk and the egg white. Okay, so you need 8 whole eggs. Please make sure that there's no shell in them, because again, Javaccino customers get very upset if they're biting into something and there's a piece of shell. Okay. To this, we are going to add in 2 cups of milk. Okay. Any kind of milk is fine. Skim milk, 1%, 2%, whatever is provided to you in class. 2 cups is right up here. Remember, liquid measuring cup. And you're just going to put it up to the 2 cup line. 2 cups is equal to 16 ounces, as a quick review for you. Make sure you have your 2 ounces. I'm good to go. Pour this directly into here. To that, I'm going to add, for a little flavor, a little bit of vanilla. 1 tablespoon is what this recipe calls for. Directly into there. And then you are going to add, as I said at the beginning of the recipe called for 3 teaspoons divided. We put 1 teaspoon in our cinnamon sugar mixture. The other 2 teaspoons is going to go directly in here. Next, what we're going to do, using your wire whip, you're going to mix up this mixture. When we make these in bulk, you do have the opportunity, you can use the kitchen mixer, the large kitchen mixer, because it will be a lot quicker for you. And I think it's easier to get into the yolks and evenly distribute compared to making it by hand this way. But if someone else is using it, you may have to mix it by hand. It still does the same trick, you just got to put a little elbow grease into it. You just want to make sure all the yolk, clean up as you go. Okay. Mix it up. And I'm almost there. I'm just going to mix it for 1 more second. Okay. That is done. So now I'm going to bring this back out. So now here's my liquid mixture, my apples that we've already cut and put with the cinnamon sugar. And now I'm just going to show you our bread. Okay, so I've already cut the bread. You want it in about 1-inch slices. So to do that, when you have your bread, you're going to have like 1 loaf, maybe 2, depending on where your bread was purchased from. This one. Usually you would want to use a serrated knife or bread knife. This is not, but this is very sharp. So it's going to do the same trick without ruining the bread. If when you cut into this and it's smashing the bread, ask your teacher for a bread knife or a sharper knife. You're going to cut off the ends. I'm just going to put that off to the side. And you're going to cut it into 1-inch pieces. So see, it's not like smashing down the bread. If it smashes down the bread, that's when you know you're ruining it, and you don't want to do that, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to take these, and you want to smash your bread pieces so they're nicely, tightly wound together. You want them to be fit and nice and snug. Like so. Some pieces are going to be a little bit wider than others. That just is where the bread, like what part of the bread loaf it came from, and that's absolutely fine. I'm going to cut a couple more slices. Just like so. And if you're smashing it together, that's fine. Rather have more than, it should all be very tight in there, just like so. You should not see the apple mixture. If you see the apple mixture, you need more bread. Okay? Then what we're going to do is you are going to take your liquid that we've already mixed. I'm just going to give it one more mix. And then I'm going to pour it directly over the top of the bread. And you just want to make sure that the bread is going to be saturated in the egg mixture. The bread is like a sponge, so it will soak up the excess liquid if it's like sitting on the top. That's fine. We're going to let this sit overnight before we actually cook it, and the bread will just soak it all in. So this is our baked French toast. Sometimes when students hear French toast, they think it always has to be cooked in the oven, and it doesn't. There we go. Okay, we're just going to move this around. Okay, and we're going to wrap this and set it in the fridge overnight and bake it tomorrow. And then I'll show you how to package.